Hi guys, welcome to the session back. Now we're going to start about the WEKA Explorer. How to start on a WEKA Explorer means go to the search bar and type the WEKA. You get an icon like this in the search bar. Click on a WEKA. You'll get a WEKA application. Double click on here and you'll start the WEKA Explorer. You'll get a WEKA Explorer like this. Okay. In this WEKA Explorer, in this WEKA Chooser, we have a multiple applications out there, but we are using the WEKA Explorer only. This application is mainly used for the. This application is mainly used for the extraction and the loading of the data sets. If you click on this Explorer button, you will get a Explorer tab will be open. In this Explorer tab, you can load the data sets and you can proceed with the applications. This is the WEKA Explorer. Yeah, this is the WEKA Explorer. In this WEKA Explorer, we can load the data set and you can do the if you want to update anything, if you want to analyze any data, to analyze that particular process, first we have to load the data set. In this WEKA Explorer, we have multiple tabs are available. There are 6 tabs are available. You can see that there is a pre-process tab, classify tab, cluster, associate, select attribute, and visualize. What is a pre-process tab? What is the main use of the pre-process tab means? The pre-process tab is used to choose the data file to be used by the application. Is used to choose the data file to be used by the application. That means if you want to load any data set, if you want to execute, or if you want to do anything in that particular WEKA Explorer, you have to load a data set. The data set formats are the different formats you can load. For example, .arff file or .csv file or any other extension files will be which is suitable to the particular WEKA Explorer. You can load those types of the data sets. In this present, we are using in a .arff formats only. .arff means attribute relational file format. Any Excel file or any file which is stored which is saved with an .arff means that is called as a WEKA dataset folder. That is a dataset file. So you can load the dataset by using the open file, open URL, open database. If you have a dataset is available in your particular local machine, you can load by using the open file. If the dataset is available in that particular web browsers or any other websites, that is an online resource, you can use by using an open URL. Or if your database, that is if your data set is available in that particular any servers, that is any database servers, you can directly load with an OpenDB. So this pre-process tab is an initializing, that is a basic tab which is used for the loading of the data sets. After loading of the data set only, you can do anything. That is, you can apply the classification rules, you can apply the cluster analysis, or you can apply the association rules, or you can do the any modifications or the updations of the using as attributes, that is selected attributes, or by using a visualization of the overall datagrams will be displayed in the visualization tabs. So for all the process, the basic one is you have to load the data set. For this loading process only, we are using a pre-process tab. After loading the data, you can edit that particular data or you can update the data according to the graphical representation or according to the statistical view of that particular database. The next tab is used known as a classify tab. These classify instances, that is a classify tab, is used for the to test and train the different learning schemes of the pre-processed data file under the experimentation process. Under the experimentation process. The next one is a cluster. This cluster is known as a cluster analysis topic, and this majorly the cluster is used to apply the different tools that identifies the clusters within the data file. So if you loaded any data set, in that particular data set, the cluster analysis, the clusters will be identified by using the clusters. The next one is an associate, that is majorly using an association rules. To discover that particular association rules, we'll use this tab. And in the association rules, you can apply all association rules after loading of the data. That means to use a different rules to that particular file that identifies associated with the data. The next one is a select attribute. This select attribute is used to apply the different rules to reveal the changes based on that particular selected attributes, inclusion or exclusion from the experiment. The next one is a visualize. In this visualize, you can use the what the various manipulations produced on the overall data set in 2D format, that is in scatter plots or bar graphs or any other formats will be used in the visualize. Okay, let's start about the experiment, how to load in a data set, how to analyze that particular data set. After loading the data, what you have to observe, what you have to do, how the particular data set will be visualized in the pre-process tab. Okay, for this process, the first experiment is list the categorical and of the list the categories of that particular data set by using the nominal or numerical and any other types. So first load the data set. How to load a data set means click on the open file, go to that particular location where the data set is available. Where the data sets is available means if you install the WEKA software, that is the WEKA tool in Windows, automatically the data sets are available. If you install these WEKA in using the Ubuntu or any other OS, we can save that particular data sets from the outsourcing. In the Windows, it's defaultly saved and it will be in the C drive. Go to the C drive. The C drive, go to the program files. In the program files, search the WEKA folder. If the WEKA software installed successfully, that folder will be created. Here it is, that is a WEKA 3.8. I installed the WEKA 3.8 version, so the folder name is WEKA 3.8. Go to the WEKA 3.8. In this WEKA 3.8, go to the data folder. In this data folder, how many data sets are available here? Have a look at here. These are all the data sets which is defaultly saved by the WEKA software. If these data sets are not available, means you can download the data set from the internet, that which is in the same format of the .arff format. .arff means attribute relational file format. These data set having an a data which is in the format of the Excel or the different formats. For example, if you want to load any one of the data set, you can select that particular data set. For example, I'm using a credit data set. Why the credit data set only means this credit data set, which is a very familiar and very interactive data set to the present situation. That credit data set is which is related to the banking sector. So I loaded the credit data set, select that particular credit g.arff and click on open. After selecting selecting the open button, the data set is loaded and it will be visualized like this. Have a look here. In this here, in the pre-process tab, after loading the data set, automatically all the options will be highlighted and it can be visualized like this. Here you have filters can be applied. In the pre-process tab, you can apply the filters. Those filters will be the like which are the majorly used for the supervised and unsupervised filters. If you want to apply any filter according to that particular requirement, you can apply the any filter. For example, if you want to apply the filters for the attributes, you can apply, or if you want to apply the filters for the instances, you can apply whether the supervised or unsupervised. If it is required means you can apply the filter and you can click on apply here. If you apply that particular thing, automatically the filter will be applicable to that particular data set and the data will be modified. The modified data will be displayed here. The defaultly we are taking a data set within a credit data set, that purely original raw data will be visible like this. Here you can see the relationship name, that means the name of the data set. Here you can see the attributes and you can see the instances and some of weights. These are all the basic information of the data set which is available in that particular data set file. So the relationship name means the file name is in a German credit, that is a credit -g. In these credit data set, you have any attributes are there. What is an attribute? Why the attribute is required? Attribute is nothing but it can be defined as a field for storing the data that represents the characteristics of the data objects. For example, if you consider like as the attribute is considered like It can be seen as an customer ID or address or etc. Anything can be used. We can say that the set of attribute used to describe the giving objects as known as an attribute vector or a future vector. So like this attribute can be used and the attribute can be specifically specifies like this. If you click on the edit button here, you can see the viewer option. You can see the viewer option like this is checking status, duration, credit history, purpose. Okay, I think it's not visible. 1 minute. So you can see here, this is the attributes tier. If you click on the edit button, automatically it will open the viewers page. In this viewer page, this is the data set original uh, fields, original data set is there in the particular Excel format. If you see the viewer, the data set is like this. In this data set, these are all the attributes. So these are all the attributes. So you can say that attribute is used as a describing of the given objects are known as an attribute vector or future vector. So in these attribute viewers, so here we have the relationship name, attributes, and instances. Instances means values of that particular objects and the sum of the weights. So here you have 21 attributes will be displayed. That means total data set, the values which are stored in that particular data set will be displayed here. These are all the attributes. And if you select that particular attribute in the right side panel of the screen, it will be displayed the details of that particular attribute. For example, if you select the checking status, the detail will be displayed here and the graphical representations will be displayed in the below of that particular details. If you select the duration, what are the values presented in that particular duration, that particular attribute details will be displayed here. What is the name of that particular attribute, what type of the attribute, and any missing values are there, and any distinct values are there, unique values, and the statistical representation of that particular attribute will be displayed in the right side of the screen. And you can see the graphical representation also in the below of that particular statistical method. Statistical representation. So you can check all the attributes and the details presented in that particular attributes will be displayed here. So if you select the purpose, credit amount, saving status, employment, installment commitment, personal status, other parties, all these are all the attributes and the values of the attributes will be displayed here. And in the first experiment, that means in the first problem statement, we have to check the type of the attribute. Why the type of the attribute is required means, if for example, if in your database or in your data set, if you have any multiple fields are there, according to that particular field, you can do the analysis part. If you go for the analysis part, you have to identify the analysis part. Category of that particular analysis part will be, category of the analysis part will be, you have to check for that checking purpose, for that analysis purpose, you have to identify the type of that particular attribute. For identification of that particular type, you have to check all the details of that particular attribute by selecting that particular attribute. If you select that particular attribute, the details will be displayed on the right side. So you have to check the name of the attribute and type of the attribute. After checking that particular type of the attribute, you have to make a note that what is the name of the attribute, what type of that particular attribute. Like for example, how to maintain a record means, let's take in a Word document. Let's take an empty Word document. In this empty Word document, draw a table. This empty Word document, draw a table with all the categories. That means serial number, name of the attribute, uh, type of the attribute, and how many distinct values are there. Next, to how many missing values. Next one is unique percentage. Unique percentage. So this is the format to identify the overall things. And what is the query? What is our problem statement means? In the problem statement, you have to identify. The problem statement is the first experiment of this one. The problem statement is list all the categorical or nominal attributes and real valued attributes separately. So if you identify how many attributes are there means by using the first point, step 1. What is the step 1 you have to do? The step 1, load the data set. Step 1 is open WEKA Explorer and click on the Explorer. Next, step 2. What is the step 2? Under the pre-process tab, click open file. Under the pre-process tab, click open file. Click open file and load the credit g.arff data set. And the next one is the next step 3. You have to identify the type of the attribute. You have to identify the type of the attribute. How to identify the type of the attribute. Identify the type of the attribute and list in the table. example, name of the attribute in the WEKA Explorer. You can see here the first, what is the next, what is the first Explorer? Checking status. So write on the name of the attribute is checking status. You identified after selecting the checking status. You can see here checking status. What is the name of the attribute is checking status, and the type of the attribute is nominal. And how many distinct values are there in the checking status? 4 distinct value and 0% is missing, and 0% unique values. 4 distinct values, 0% missing values, and 0% unique values. The next one is, what is the next attribute name? Duration. And the duration type is, if you select the duration, it will be displayed in the numeric. So type of the attribute is numeric. Missing values are 0 and distinct values are 33. Unique values are 5. So like this, you can prepare a table. All the, if possible, you can separate the numerical attribute in a separate table and make the same table have a copy. Control C, Control V, and here type of the nominal attributes. For example, type here as a nominal attributes and copy these numeric and paste here. So with this, you can make a separate table for the numeric and nominals. Okay. For example, if you go to the Explorer, select the third attribute, that is a credit history. The credit history type of the credit history is nominal. So here nominal means credit history type is nominal. And what are the number of distinct values? Means 5 distinct values and 0, 0. 5 distinct values, 0 missing and 0 unique. So if any credit data is, that means nominal types are there, add that particular attribute in this table. If any numerical attributes are there, add that particular details in this table. So this is the first experiment. The first one is a list all the categorical and nominal attributes or the real valued attributes separately. So we are separating all the nominal attributes separately and numerical attributes separately. So this is the one procedure. If you have one more procedure, that is, if you want to identify all the nominal numerical at a time, that means in a single process, if you want to delete or remove means, here you can see that particular WEKA Explorer after loading the data set. If you want to select any remove, that means if you want to update the data set, for example, in this here, all the checking status data having a 0 and duration values, credit history, nominals, and credit amount, you can sort the data by editing this particular dataset. What are the dataset is available on that particular application? That is not the final dataset. If you want to update or if you want to add any fields or if you want to remove any instances, you can do it. For example, in the credit history, if you want to sort the data things means, here you can see this credit amount. The credit amount beginning is 250, 276. That means if you want to edit means you can click on here and you can modify 250. If you want to update this, you can update the data set, and if you click on save, automatically it will save. If you click on save, that data set which is updated by you, that can be saved with a different data set name. For example, I already have a credit-g.arff. After updating, if you want to save that particular file means, you can rename with some other file name and you can save. So after saving the data, like you can modify the data set, and if you want to remove the data cells also, you can remove like this. In the credit history, that means in this our data set, checking status, if you select this one, this type is a nominal and the duration is a numeric, so leave it. Credit history is a nominal, so select. and purpose is a nominal select. So if you select like this, the checkbox, after selecting this checkbox, automatically if you see here, the remove button will be enabled. If you want to remove that particular attribute, you can remove that particular attribute, click on remove. So in the previously we have 21 attributes, we selected the 3 attributes and we click on remove. Automatically the 3 attributes will be removed from the data set. 3 attributes will be removed from the data sets. So the first attribute is data set, now that is a numeric. Credit amount is a numeric. Checking saving status is a nominal. Employment is a nominal. This one numeric, and personal status is nominal. So select all the nominal attributes. Residency is a numeric. Nominal, numeric, it is nominal. Housing is nominal, and existing class is a numeric. Job is a nominal, and number department is a numeric. This one is nominal. Foreign worker is nominal. And don't remove the class attribute. Why? Because class attribute is a label attribute of the overall data set. So don't remove the class attribute, keep the class attribute as the same. Why? Because these class attributes only gives the justification, that is it will give the label of that particular overall data set. So whether good or bad or yes, no, right, wrong, the overall justification, that means overall giving a clarification of the overall data set will be given by the class label. So class attribute is a default attribute. Don't remove this class attribute as an if nominal type is there or numerical type is there. Okay. If you are in the just separation process, if you can do, but when you are doing any analysis part, don't do anything, any modifications in the class label. So for just identification purpose only we are taking means, so you can remove, remove. So these are all the attributes which are here is a numeric attributes. So you can separate the overall attributes by selecting the particular attribute. If you remove, you can remove. So all the 7 attributes are the numerical attributes. So now you can write down all these attributes in this table of the numeric. So what are those you removed? Those are all comes under the nominal. So if the 7 attributes are the numeric, automatically the remaining, what are how many attributes are there out of 21? 7 attributes are the numeric, means max 14 attributes of the nominal. It's a very simple. So list out all the nominal and numerical attributes separately. This is the first experiment, listing of the categorical and real valued attributes. Categorical and real valued attributes. Guys, I think you may understand this overall first experiment. That is separation of the numerical and nominal attributes by using the WEKA Explorer by loading of the credit data set. Okay, thank you guys.